we show them, we teach what we preach. Is that right? Did I get it
Practice
right?
what you
Yeah.
Practice what we preach. Yeah. So
What we do is we ensure that the clients are happy, but at the same time, we have to ensure that the staff is also happy.
Transition kakaiba eh. Kasi biglang from work on-site,
snap.
biglang
Yeah.
nag-work from home, and then suddenly nag-hybrid.
Welcome to FA Podcast, where we go behind the scenes of the people, processes, and platforms that keep Frontline Accounting running. For today's episode, we're diving deep into the heart of our operations department.
From the way we maintain quality and consistency to how we scale without losing our edge, this episode is all about the company drives client success. So let's get into it. We're your hosts, Reg.
And Hannah. And for today's guests, we have Miss Manel and Miss Noemi from the operations department.
Thank you for inviting us. My name is Manel. I'm part of operations team, and I'm one of the operations manager.
Hi, my name is Noemi. I'm also part of the operations team. I am the assistant operations supervisor.
Thanks so much for joining us, Ms. Maneli and Noemi. So first, let's talk about how the operations team balances structure and human connection to create consistent results in FA. So what does process-driven but people-focused mean in the context of front-end accounting?
Thanks for that wonderful question, Reggie, Miss Universe. But anyway, for that, it's more of, for me, or for frontline accounting, it's more of finding the balance between people and processes.
Yeah.
It's very important that you meet in the middle. It's more of ensuring that the processes are being followed, the manuals are being done, but ensuring that the people are also, being checked by everyone in the department. So we have to make sure na okay sila sa mga ginagawa nilang trabaho. Right, Noemi?
Yes, we don't just impose the rules,
Mhm.
but we also have to check and adjust the rulings.
How do we balance client expectations with internal team dynamics?
How do we balance the
Mhm.
client? Well, we check on them. So para dyan, we have to ensure na hindi lang kliyente yung sinecheck natin, pati yung staff nila. And so it's not just full operations department as we call it eh. Buong company talaga.
Buong support team.
Buong support team na kagaya nga ng tinatawag natin.
Yes, and also when ipasok natin dyan yung client's request. So we don't just we say yes to all of their requests, but we also have to check our capacity to do the request.
Correct.
So for example, the client's requesting for a new hire to staff urgently.
Mhm.
So we need to check if the timeline,
Mhm.
we can check if we can meet the timeline, but we also have to check the logistics side, if we
Mhm.
can deliver the equipment on time,
Mhm.
and also if the setup from
Mhm.
the IT side will be done on time.
Within the time frame, right?
Yes, within the time frame. So we have to be transparent to the client, and we say if we can go that, we can do the urgent start date of the staff or no.
So regarding on the setup, no, and also once the staff already have their equipment and etc. They're already working. We are checking proactively,
Correct.
Yes.
right? So that we can also check if they need something that na hindi pa nila, kumbaga hindi nila nababanggit sa atin. Kasi minsan, in my experience, there are times na merong kailangan si staff,
Tama.
but hindi nila masabi. Siguro dahil new hire sila.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah. So in relation to that, can you give an example of a process improvement that helped both the client and the internal team?
Because we
Exactly.
mentioned about the equipment and the delivery and all. So the onboarding process before pandemic, all of us working on site.
Mm.
So all we have to do is we need to check, or we need to know the start date of the staff. We will be endorsing the equipment to the IT to be set up, and then allocate a seat for them in the office. But after the pandemic, or when the pandemic hit, and after the pandemic, we have to transition to just not work on site, but also the work from home, and then we go hybrid based on how we will be delivering the equipment to the staff, and also how we can support them and
Tama.
assist them before before they could start with the client.
Okay.
Agree.
So how do we ensure that new hires adopt the right mindset towards quality and service?
Actually, pareho lang eh. Dun sa part na you have to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Medyo cliche pakinggan. Pero kasi that's how it goes eh. Hindi mo siya pwedeng ituro ng ituro. Dapat ipakita mo din.
Agree to that. So they have to experience first
Oo.
so that they can feel, they can adopt, and then magpo-flow na rin sila kung ano yung meron tayo.
Oo, pero procedure-wise, Reggie, meron tayong onboarding, gagaya ng sinabi
Yeah.
ni Noemi. We are very personal when it comes to that matter. We conduct client orientation. We also conduct staff orientation. So, kumbaga, sagana sila sa communication, as we say. We teach them prior to them joining us on board. We teach
Yes.
them how to do the stuff that we do in Frontline.
Yeah, and it's clear, Miss Manal, na you mentioned nga na meron tayong orientation and we show them, we teach what we preach. Is that right? Did I get it
Practice
right?
what you
Yeah.
Practice what we preach, yeah. So, we also do that, especially in the first day pa lang din ng staff.
Correct.
And we make sure that they get to see the example then, how we do things. So, they are also influenced sa
Correct.
quality natin and sa standard, right? So, it's very clear and for that, yes, it is right na procedures really set the foundation, but the impact talaga doon sa work and life experience din, not just the staff, not just the employees, but also the clients
That's
would
right.
be, when we think of them, we have them in mind when we do
Correct.
things. Yeah. So, yeah, that brings us to the bigger picture na yung excellence, hindi lang siya limited to the numbers,
Yep.
but also the experience that we give them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, with that, meron din kami further questions. So, speaking
Kala ko
of
tapos
clients,
na. Okay.
we still have a lot. We're very curious kasi of course
Alright.
it's different to hear it from you, diba? We only see it, but really getting to see it, hear it directly from the people involved, it's really different. So how did the operations team contribute to overall client satisfaction?
Yeah, very good question again. Thank you for that. So with that, what we do is we ensure that the clients are happy, but at the same time, we have to ensure that the staff is also happy. Why? Because we do the legwork for them, technically, because they're abroad. We are the one here in the Philippines who can give the assistance that they need for their staff. So we have to make sure that every request are being handled properly in a timely manner. Again, not just in operations, but with the overall, departments of frontline accounting. So if we meet the request of the staff, then they will, share that with their clients, and the clients will give us good feedback. So parang ganun na siya eh. It's as simple as that. It's a cycle.
Yes, and addition to that, if yun nga, we have to make sure that the staff is happy.
Mhm.
So if the staff raise any concerns, maliit man siya, if kaya na natin siyang isolve
Mhm.
na hindi pa siya nakakarating sa client, lalo na kung maliit lang naman, gawin na natin or
Tama.
i-help na natin yung staff before pa siya maging malaking concern,
Mm-mm.
malaking issue. Kasi parang medyo nakakahiya sa client if maliit lang siyang question. For example, yung staff, nagre-request lang siya ng book or training books na available naman siya
Correct,
dito
correct.
sa Philippines. So why kailangan pa nating pahabain yung process if we can just find the book
Mhm.
and then we purchase the book for the staff. You just have to ask approval for the client for any cost or any related stuff to purchase that. So, yun, mga ganong simpleng bagay or simpleng request ng
Correct.
staff, gawin na natin before pa siya, maging big concern sa client.
Tama.
I agree, and we always also have to check them with them. Like example, for what books you mentioned, diba, there are some books in your experience so far. What are the books that they've asked or requested?
Nako, ang mahirap na accounting books pa yan. So,
Yes.
majority from the department don't really have actual accounting experience kasi we're not really good in numbers. So, I won't lie. But then again, internet is already available. That's how we breathe in nowadays. Kung baga, we can do the research for them rather than, asking silly questions like, alam mo yun, simple questions na kaya naman nating i-research online.
Yeah. So, impact talaga goes hand in hand both for clients and for the staff. So, happy rin si client, happy rin si staff.
Correct.
They are well equipped with the resources.
Happy rin tayo.
We are happy, definitely. Kasi yung success nila would also
Yeah.
lead to the success then eventually ng business. And it's a cycle.
Exactly.
Yes.
Tsaka yung for the books, actually, there are lots of options na. We have our e-books, we have the physical books.
Yeah.
So, operations team can handle that. I'm sure of it.
So, you've mentioned, Ms. Manel, about the happiness or yun nga, happy si client, they're satisfied, and also with the employees. So, what metrics do we currently have in set or the KPIs to measure operational success?
We have to make sure that seat allocation is enough for everyone. That's how we do it. So, it's not as easy as it may sound. Kasi yung shift natin is running into 3 categories. We have the Australian shift, the UK shift, and the US shift. Magkakaibang oras. So we have to make sure na kung sino ang magre-report on-site, they have a secured seat or we have a secured seat for them. In line with that, we just don't worry about the seat. We have to make sure that they have the equipment with the help of IT. Correct, Reg?
IT.
And in line with that, kailangan alam din ni HR. Again, it's connected to each other. Kumbaga parang hindi pwedeng stand-alone to eh.
Yes.
So, our KPI is also connected with the rest of the operations KPI or supports KPI.
Yeah, lalo na kung yung staff, first time nila sa office, because, yun nga, when they start na, ang setup is work from home or a hybrid, and never pa sila nakapunta sa office, and UK shift sila. So, we have to check if there will be support that they can assist them during their shift.
Yes.
So, it goes with the biometrics.
Tama.
They have to have the biometrics access and also the admin assistant or operations assistants na kung halimbawa nasan ba yung pantry, nasan ba yung meeting rooms, nasan ba yung seat ko. So, ayun.
CR.
So, yung CR.
Isa nawawala sila.
Yes, kung ang celebrity may pa-house tour, tayo may pa-office
Yes.
Before,
Office
yes.
tours.
Especially now that we have bigger office space.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. 2,000 square meter is not a joke. So we have to make sure we
Yes.
teach them the locations or the areas of the office na kailangan nila.
So kung wala kayong leg day, join us.
Correct. We will help you count your steps on a daily basis.
Yes.
Definitely.
So at least pag pumunta tayo na office, it's not just working on-site din talaga. Meron din tayong a little bit of exercise as we go around the office.
Tama.
Yes. And very scary mawala or hindi mo alam saan yung station mo. So it's really important that we are in touch. Yes. So that goes again and again. It's a cycle both for the staff and for the clients. So,
Yes.
would you be able or would you mind sharing any client success stories, like be it sa office or in our events so far, like anything that you could share about your experience so far?
When the pandemic hit, talaga, yung transition kakaiba eh. Kasi biglang from work on-site,
Nice na.
biglang nag-work from home, and then suddenly nag-hybrid. So, yung mga clients, most of their staff talaga working on-site. So, wala silang idea kung paano nag-work yung work from home, yung hybrid. So, what happened is, kung ano yung regulations ng government, susundin.
Correct.
And then, we just have to adapt kung ano pa yung mga changes later on. And then, hanggang sa, yun nga, wala na silang nagawa dahil medyo naging common na or parang naging practice na yung work from home, hybrid. So, yung mga clients, since, or yung other companies nag-o-offer na rin kasi ng work from home and hybrid. So, yung mga client, para makahire sila ng staff nila, kailangan nilang mag-adapt doon. So, on our side naman, if the staff or the client agreed to the work setup of the staff na work from home or hybrid, you have to do our part din. No? Paano ba natin sila susuportahan? Paano natin i-deliver yung equipment nila? So, we have to check paano natin ipapadala. So, we do the logistics na never natin ginawa kasi hindi naman tayo nagpapadala ng equipment sa staff. So, ngayon, ginagawa natin, we check courier, yung timeline. Dapat mabigay sa staff on time yung equipment nila, and paano natin sila sinusupport kahit nasa bahay lang sila. So, yung mga client, naging okay sila doon sa service na yon, sa setup na yon. So, ang nangyari, nag-ano pa sila, nagbigay pa sila ng, or naghanap pa sila ng,
They grow. Yeah.
yeah,
they grow
ng
with
mga
us.
new staff pa nila. So, I think, isa yun.
Yeah, I can't agree more to that. We can talk about it all day. When we say the
Yeah.
word pandemic, ang dami nating pwedeng i-share. But our success is not a success ni Frontline lang. Technically, success yun ng client natin kasi they cannot operate without us, most especially if we are the one managing their staff. So whatever we did during that time helped our client a lot when it comes to their operations. Kasi we ensure na yung workflow nila tuloy-tuloy. We have to find, or we have to be adaptable as what Noemi mentioned, kung paano natin i-align na hindi maputol yung work nila on a day-to-day basis. So we have to come up with new processes agad-agad kasi nobody planned the pandemic, diba? So we have to come up with the plan on our own. So very thankful din tayo because our clients are very supportive and cooperative during that time. That helped us a lot. Hindi na nila tayo pinahirapan.
Actually, one of the best, I think, the good communication
Exactly.
with the clients, with the staff, and with the support team. So, number one yun na talagang, I think, nagbigay talaga ng support to everyone.
Yes. And we are big on communication talaga.
Yeah.
And it's not just the word of mouth na communication is key, but yun nga, cliche na naman. It may be as cliche as it may seem, pero it's really very helpful na meron tayong constant communication across all the people involved. And with that, we are thankful din na syempre the clients trusted us, the employees trusted us throughout the pandemic. Lahat tayo nangangapa. It's like you're blindfolded, kakapain mo whatever is happening, ano maipaproclaim ng government.
Yes,
So
true.
tayo, laban. But then, nonetheless, because of that trust din ng employees and ng clients, and of course, the rest din ng the team behind the scenes, nag-grow lalo si Frontline, and we have our new office. Yan. So, kamusta po kayo yung how we set up the new office? Any comments from our very tenured clients from our old office transitioning to the new office? Ano kaya yung, were you able to receive directly their feedback? Alam ko marami nang nag-visit.
Oo. Wow.
Yes.
Yun talaga. Most of them said, wow. Bakit? Kasi our office is really small before na hindi pa siya carpeted. Like for me, when I joined Frontline, I'm like, office. Walang carpet. Pero we lived with it. Even if walang carpet before si Frontline Accounting or hindi siya as big as other BPO offices here in the Philippines, we can assure na talagang we maintain it properly. And it's not just the office how it looks like. It's the people. Kasi dun mo makikita, the office is not that chic or sexy, but then again, we have the employees working for us who actually join us as when we grow, diba? So when we move to the new office, ayokong sabihin na madali kasi hindi eh. It's really a struggle for everyone eh, not just with the operations team. Kasi again, lahat to is with the help of all of our support team. IT most especially.
IT.
Again, IT. Oy, IT baka naman. HR, of course, when it comes to communication, they help us talking to clients, to staff, ensuring that they're okay. And operations most especially when we did the communication with our clients and with our staff who are also very cooperative when we ask for their help. We set expectation early on na eto yung i-expect natin. It's not gonna be easy. We need your help and they're very cooperative. So again, like what Hannah mentioned, communication is really important eh. Kasi if we do it like blindly na, announcement, mag-move tayo ng office, pakahirap nun. It's not gonna work like
And
that.
it's gonna cause panic.
Correct.
How do we go there?
The growth is really amazing when it comes to new office with the help of the marketing team. Grabe, if you've seen our Facebook page, sobrang nakakaiyak. I don't wanna say the name of the person behind the videos. Baka kasi i-hire nyo, i-amin na siya. But, pero he's really great. He was recently part of the team when the office move happened. So, yung effort niya sa paggawa ng videos to show the transition is very, very, what word can I use? Ang galing lang. Ang ganda nung pagkakapresent.
Kudos to that man.
Yes. Kudos to the man behind the camera. Pero again, this new office or this growth, it's not just, kay Frontline. We would like to thank our clients and our support team or our BPO team as well for helping us reach where we are today. Traumatic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's not just about hitting KPIs. It's about creating a long-term and a reliable partnership maybe.
Yes.
So as we grow, I think keeping that level of excellence become even more complex, right?
Mhm.
So how do we do it? So I have a set of questions ulit, Miss Manel and Miss Noemi.
Very interesting
Yeah.
communication.
So what are the biggest operational challenges when the company grows rapidly? As you mentioned earlier na sobrang bilis ng clients natin pag-hire ganyan. So yung demand ng tao talagang papasok. So I think nagiging problem yun minsan sobrang kumbaga dagsa yung ano natin. So paano yung adjustment when it comes to that?
Actually, Reg, hindi yan scenario question na tinatanong mo lang ngayong interview. It actually happened.
Yeah.
We tell clients about the good problem that we experience. I'm not really certain if it's 2016 or 2017 kung saan clients started asking Mark and John for their help in finding them Filipino staff. Kasi they've seen that it's very effective for them. So parang they started asking, can you help me out? Can you find me somebody? Can you find me an accountant in the Philippines? And Mark and John is like, sure, we'll do that. So yun na yun. To answer your question, yung pinaka-challenge or struggle dyan is finding the right people.
Yes.
Bakit? Kasi paano ka mag-grow more if wala kang tamang tao sa posisyon? So that's what Mark and John did. They started recruiting the leaders of the firm. That's where I joined. Kasi noon, when I joined Frontline, I actually started being part of the recruitment team, if I may just share. So being part of recruitment before, I helped Mark and John, hire the best people to do that. And what unique way in terms of hiring people back then is we don't look into their skills. We look into their personality. Bakit ulit? Because you can teach them all the skills that you want them to learn Anumang coding yan, anumang software or applications yan, madaling ituro. Pero the personality, wala yatang training doon di ba? You're born with it, di ba? So, if you find the right people to do the job, then the rest will follow. People can just do the job in terms of how you expect them to do the job for you. Pagdating sa growth, they'll help us find the people. And when it comes to operations naman, dyan papasok yung kung paano mo i-make sure na nagre-run smoothly yung business on a day-to-day basis sa opisina. Kasi noon, we're just working on-site We don't have naman people working from home. Nag-transition lang tayo during pandemic. So we have to make sure that the office is fully operational, internet is stable, HR is available to be reached out by people who need help when it comes to HR, recruitment is hiring people, and marketing is doing their job in making the business grow.
So in relation to that, syempre, marami na tayong new hires. So, syempre may above to that, meron pa tayong mga clients na pumapasok, syempre. So, how do we onboard new teams and clients while maintaining the quality? Kasi pag sinabi yung quality, ibang level yon. Quality means everything runs smoothly, process,
Tama.
etc. and overall. How do we maintain to that?
We mentioned earlier about the orientation.
Yes.
So we do, aside from staff orientation, we also do clients orientation. So before the staff could start, we scheduled call to orient the clients on what will they expect
Correct.
from the coming days. So on the operation sides, what do we tackle is a bit side of IT.
Correct.
So paano yung process?
IT again.
So paano yung initiation? So for example, paano natin sineset up yung equipment ng staff nila? Kung anong klaseng equipment yung mabibigay natin sa staff nila, and what will be the setup, the policies, and all. And then sa pagdating naman sa side ng operations, ini-inform namin sila kung paano yung mangyayari sa first day ng staff, sa second day, and then the third day, and so on. And then ini-inform din namin sila or sinishare namin sa kanila yung process, yung mga procedures natin.
Meron tayong mga bagong processes pagdating sa pag-request nila ng mga items.
Yes. So pagdating, for example, meron na silang setup.
Correct.
We have the standard setup, which is the computer, the laptop, monitor, and the mouse, and headset. So if the staff needs a mobile phone, a work mobile phone, doon dinidiscuss na natin, the mobile phone works for the 2FA or the two-factor authentication. So, ginagamit nila mostly on their work apps.
Mm-mm.
And then, kung kailangan pa nila ng additional monitors, so, yun, the operations handle that.
So when it comes to the items, the most requested items, what are those?
Siguro yung most requested item would be the third external monitor. So, because we already have the standard setup, which includes the second external monitor. Pero may mga staff kasi, they are requesting for additional one. So, that will be the third external monitor. And also, a mobile phone. But that mobile phone, ang purpose talaga niya is for work. And, work-related. And also, kadalasan ano siya, for two-factor authentication.
Yes.
Yeah.
For security.
Alright. So when it comes dun sa tools, syempre we have our computers, we have our applications. So for the internal team, what tools or training or processes have helped us scale efficiently? Syempre, hindi lang yan basta tayo lang. Syempre, meron tayong mga tools na ginagamit for us to improve more, kumbaga ma-boost yung quality pa.
Yeah, we have a lot actually. Sagana tayo sa tools. Kasi our bosses actually ask us kung ano ba talagang kailangan natin for growth. So they ensure that we have proper training. We actually do training regularly. So when we talk about the tools, we're using Udemy.
Yeah.
As everyone knows, it's not, medyo expensive siya, as I may say. So we have to ensure that we maximize all the training that we can do using the Udemy. What else, Noemi?
We also have Trello.
Yep.
So, in Trello, doon namin nakikita yung tasks, delegations, and also monitoring. So, kung paano nag-move yung task ng isa't isa. And we use that to, updates. Different projects, collaborate.
Yes, and from time to time, we review the tools that we have. Not just in one operations, but that will be used by the whole company. Kung ano yon, hindi lang siya basta pinagdedesisyonan ng isang tao. We have to make sure that we sit on it, we do the discussion, and then we decide. And then that's the time that we are gonna be implementing it with the rest of the team.
So just want to share too, we are also using the SharePoint, which is a tool for collaboration for the internal team. So sobrang importante siya kasi we can share documents, files, or any items that the support team needs, right? So next question, medyo malayo na siya dun sa question ko kanina. But how do we keep company culture strong across a growing and potentially remote team?
Communication. Paulit-ulit tayo. Pero yun talaga yung kilalo na dun sa mga remote staff natin. So very important. What we do is we do the catch-ups regularly, as I mentioned earlier. Why? Because we want to prevent a problem from being a problem itself through communication. We check on them regularly if they are okay. HR are actually checking on staff, not just work-related stuff yung pinag-uusapan, even personal things.
So we're doing this, Ms. Panel, proactively,
regularly. We don't wait na client or staff will reach out to us kasi may problema na. That's the main reason. Parang i-check na natin sila prior pa sila magka-problema. If they have questions because they are unsure of how things work, we enlighten them. We talk to them. We answer those questions for them directly. So this is being joined directly by our country managers. So dun pa lang makikita mo na yung engagement natin with our client, and HR are the ones directly talking to the staff to check if they're okay. So hindi lang siya basta, kumusta yung task mo, anong project ang nagawa mo, ano ang KPI mo, more of how are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exact. Is that correct, Hannah?
I can actually vouch doon na we really do catch-ups not just sa staff but also sa clients. Even for staff, even if kunwari, we don't have the schedule yet with them or one-on-ones, as it's one-on-one. So there are times we do one-on-one, sometimes it's group. But in situations na one-on-one siya, we don't just talk about work, kamusta work mo, kamusta workload mo, what are you doing sa work achievement. It's very rigid if we're gonna just talk about that. But we really do our best to keep in touch, be more relatable, kasi we are human. Diba? So we're just human. So may mga emotions pa rin. We need to connect with the people, especially with HR. So for us then, since I mentioned na rin yung HR, we do our best to be approachable. Unlike there's this stereotype outside, diba, that HR is scary, HR is ganito ganyan lang, very structured. But for us, it's very warm. Yan. So, and perhaps it also builds then ang relationship with the client and also contributes to the overall operational success.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the office naman, we are also proactive in a sense na we ensure that everything is well balanced. How do we do that? We do rounds. Hindi lang doktor ang nag-rounds. Pati yung operations. When I say we do rounds, we talagang walk around the office and check kung ano yung spot na kailangang bigyan ng attention. Kung meron ba tayong enough coffee for everyone. Alam mo yan, as simple as that.
Milo.
But it makes big impact, aminin nyo, diba? Parang it's really helpful to know what the staff need. But you yourself or sa team mismo, dapat alam na namin what they need eh. So we have to ensure that everything is, clean, sparkling clean, as what Sir Mark usually say. So chine-check natin sa every morning, not just by one staff, but as much as we can, kung lahat kami kailangan mag-rounds, we do that kasi we run multiple shifts as well sa operation. So hindi lang dapat malinis sa umaga, kasi yun yung opening, dapat hanggang gabi. Maayos yung opisina, may enough seat ang lahat, meron silang lahat ng kailangan nila sa office.
So, yun rin pala, yung pagra-rounds kasi, napakalaking bagay. And also, yung proactively talking to the staffs, work from home staffs. Kasi, there are times na they can say what they want to say to the HR. Minsan, sabi nga ni Hannah, iba natatakot sa HR, di ba? Means operations. Pero kung kayo yung mag-approach, if we approach them firstly, siguro mas madali sa kanila maglabas ng anything na gusto nilang i-share. Meron pala sila na experience na hindi natin alam, nahiya sila magsabi. At least, di ba?
Yeah. So, we always say how we do the communication with client and staff. Paano naman tayo? Sa support naman, we also have regular huddle. Siyempre, kami mismo, kailangan nag-uusap-usap, not just us talking to clients and staff, but also among ourselves, we have to make sure that processes are aligned with each other. Kasi hindi pwedeng may, kumbaga, one department is doing different things from other department. Kasi, kagaya nga ng paulit-ulit namin sinasabi, connected tayo. Or connected ang frontline sa isa't isa, sa bawat department. So if one department fails to do the job, then it's gonna be a domino effect to every department. So, to answer the question, communication talaga.
Communication number one talaga.
Yes.
Ayan. So, we keep on scaling up then with the growth natin and we have to keep up din sa demands from the pre-pandemic na puro work on-site to transitioning to hybrid. Some teams even have permanent work from home. You can check our website.
Yes.
Yan. Tapos, we also have the change in the office location, new office. So, yan din. You have to watch in our YouTube account in case you still haven't. Yan yung new office. And also with that, we have our trainings, the Udemy. Yan. So, kailangan constantly ginajuggle natin in between what needs to be done. Yan. So, ako sobrang dami kong takeaways from this session.
Yes,
I'm sure
marami rin.
Sir Reggie din, yes, ang dami natin na nakuha at natutunan. And for me then personally, I really appreciate na while we are aware na lahat talaga connected, everyone works together talaga siya eh. Doon nagkakaroon talaga ng success for the business, for the clients, for the employees. Yan. So, important din talaga that we are internally connected din talaga and not just work but also we create this personal relationship with you guys then. Yan. So, yan. So, ang dami ko talagang ang sarap marinig na it's not just my own, but it's also with everyone else then.
Sa akin naman, for me, yung communication. Communication is the key kasi, syempre, if you don't communicate with each other, kumbaga, hindi kayo mag-level up sabay-sabay.
Yes.
And also, yung communication kasi, dun magkakaroon ng good relationship, paano nyo, pagsasabihin yung work nyo towards the same level, di ba? Yung iba, kung hindi ka nakikipag-communicate, baka mamaya kayo nahuli na sila medyo ibang level na yung trabaho.
Yes.
Good communication kasi, yun talaga nagbibigay rin ng quality.
Yes.
Di ba? Yun. So,
siguro to add to that, also learning how to speak up.
yes.
Kasi even if nag-reach out sa'yo yung key person to involve, you
Tama.
also have to know na you also have to share.
Yes. And the expectation na hindi rin lahat ng communication madali.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arguments may also be present during communication, but that's why we do the communication. Bakit tayo nag-uusap to resolve an argument or misunderstanding? Because if we don't, hayaan na lang natin siya. And at the end of the day, it might blow up na lang. unexpectedly kung saan it makes the situation worse. So, yeah.
Preventive than prescriptive or reactive.
Yeah.
Right? Ayan.
All right.
Yan. So, we've shared our key takeaways,
Yeah.
but before we wrap up this video, we'd like to ask first, baka may gusto pa kayo i-share to the viewers, to the applicants, maybe potential clients as well.
Yeah, thank you for that, Hannah. Thank you very much for inviting us in this podcast episode. So I would just like to say that in Frontline Accounting, the operations team are the most approachable operations team that you'll ever met or you will meeting soon if you decide to join us on board. So we are here to help you and to ensure that you guys will be enjoying your work on site in the office 24/7, almost 24/7 of the shift, because we have staff for our Australian client, staff for our UK client, and American client. So don't hesitate to send us your resumes.
Yes, in addition to that, since na-mention na approachable kami sa operations, meaning if you have concerns, when you get hired, and if you have concerns, if you have any requests, you can just shoot us an email or chat. We're really ready to help you anytime, anywhere. Yeah.
Parang overkill, no?
Hindi naman, no. Actually, that's reality. That's a reality. Sa totoo lang.
Thank you.
Everyone, I believe across teams, lahat ganyan. So, basta may questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah.
We'll be there to help as soon as we can, as much as we can. Yeah.
Yes!
Again, thank you, Miss Manel and Noemi. So, thanks for tuning in. And ngayon, alam niyo na how the operation works. And sabi nga nila, dito sa aming company, Ops is a silent force powering our performance. So, syempre, kung wala operations natin, hindi magiging smooth yung ating pag-manage ng operations daily and also for our work-from-home staffs.
And so, without the ops team, bitin yung experience nyo. So,
Yeah.
thank you very much then to the rest of the team then behind the company. And para hindi rin kayo mabitin sa content, if you like this episode, please don't forget to subscribe and share it with your team. So, in the meantime, we'll keep running behind the scenes and we'll be back soon with more
Yeah.
content for you to watch. Until then, keep improving, keep innovating, and keep moving forward. We're your hosts. I'm Hannah.
And this is Reg.
And
And
this is FA Podcast.